read up on because first of all, you get a whole lot of.
So you want more traffic on your website.
Definitely more traffic.
And you want more purchase for your books.
Yes.
But you also want to improve your content.
Mm-hmm.
Expand your content to include your second book. Yeah. Because your second book is not up there.
Right. It's
so
not
good.
At all.
Okay. All right. That's two.
But that's what I said with my website. I just want the picture of the second book too. I want as much information because author, it doesn't matter. These are the books that I have.
Yes.
So it doesn't have to be just one. That was just the only one that I had.
Okay. All
at
right.
the time. But now that I have two that I have, now we can include them both, and it's a follow-up. And they always work hand in hand. If you look at it, faith and purpose. You understand what I'm saying? And in order for you to live on purpose, you have to act on the faith. You got to know when to use that purpose. You have to know when you're working in purpose. You should know those things. Some people, when you're not so keen on to your purpose, you don't know what you're doing. You're all over the place. Get to that point where you know I'm acting in purpose right now.
Yes.
It's not what I planned on doing or set out doing. When we spoke the other day, that was me on purpose. I didn't know nothing. I didn't know what you're going through. You ain't know what I was going through. That conversation, God took over. I had to be obedient and follow through. You have to know. And then in order for me to act in on purpose, I had to have that faith that I'm walking accordingly. Because sometimes that faith is something you can't see. What if I would have said something and you didn't agree with it, all that stuff? You know it's not of God because that's confusion. So you got to know this stuff, and that's having a relationship with Him.
Right.
You feel me and stuff? So you know when to do it. It's almost like you unction. You got to know when He said, go ahead, time, do it. You understand? And you work on it and do it, and the outcome is so, even if you don't see them.
You know, you have a lot to say, don't you?
What you mean?
No, I didn't say it, I don't mean it in a negative way,
in a
positive
what do you
way.
Mean?
You have a lot to say. With things where people need to know. We said communication is to make popular what was the monopoly.
Okay.
Make popular what was the monopoly. Because what you have a lot to say because you have a lot of experience. You have a lot of knowledge.
I have a lot
you
of experience.
You have a connection with the divine,
with
the
ultimate.
ultimate.
And that's because
but now you have to release. You have to share that.
There you go. I bumped my head so much. And I went against the grain so much.
Right.
Until now, when I totally surrender, it's like, come on and do it.
People are going through a lot right now. A lot of
people.
I believe stories are the most powerful thing. And and it's not just stories. I'm talking about real stories.
Real stuff.
We live in a world where people are living a lie, so to speak.
That mask.
Facade.
No, it's a mask. Like I said. Listen, that's why
people are going through things and you don't know.
I'm still healing from that book. And when I said taking the mask of shame, of this, of that, we got to take that mask off.
You have people, this humility and honesty and truth. Sometimes, say for example, I say to you, and we had a conversation about this, about my life and how, people think everything is fine with me.
That's because they're looking at you visually. They can't see inward what you're going through.
But sometimes as a person, you don't want people to know what you're going through. So you live like, you try to fit what people think about you. And people and the expectations that, you should be fine, you should be. You did this, you've done that, so you should be okay. But then...
And that's why I said it's a mask that we put on.
Yes.
Because again, I don't want to tell you that right now my heart is aching.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, I don't want to tell you that, early in the day, I want to just be by myself and cry all day. I don't want to tell you that. That's a man. You would have called me, I'm fine, and really I'm not. But I'm going to tell you how good God is. See, that's having that relationship. He knows what we need.
Yes.
Yes, my phone will ring, like, I'm coming by. I didn't expect, really, and you perk up. And the only thing I say, thank you, God, to you be the glory.
Yeah.
Because a couple hours ago, I didn't feel like that.
Yes.
I didn't want to answer the phone. I didn't want to call. Tomorrow's Mother's Day.
Tomorrow is Mother's. Oh wow! Tomorrow is Mother's Day.
A lot of people that they happy for Mother. A lot of people, Mother's not with us today.
Yes.
A lot of people, loved ones that's close to my name, is not here.
Yes.
So you got to transition. You have to, kind of fix yourself to do something different. A lot of people is gonna be sitting home by themselves. So always think about those.
Your book,
the
book that you have, like, I'm Not a Hypocrite, I'm Human and Purpose Through the Pain. These are good books for Mother's Day. Welcome to another episode of the Neoliberal podcast. this is a special episode because this is Mother's Day. And yesterday evening, I sat down with author T.L. Jackson, who is the author of the book I Am Not a Hypocrite, I'm Human, and the other one just recently, Purpose Through the Pain. And of course, and we talked about, and today we talked about faith, purpose, and motherhood. And one of the things that she talks about and that we talked about is taking the mask of shame, taking off the mask of shame. I got even personal in this particular episode, so you would definitely want to listen to it. And to all the mothers out there today, we want to wish you a happy Mother's Day. My mom, and for those of us who follow me and listen to the podcast, know that since about 2017, my mom, or 18, my mom has been dealing with what they say was cancer. But my brother and I, my twin brother and I, were supposed to be doing a podcast episode on medical malpractice, and this particular episode on medical malpractice stems from an experience that our family had with our mom over the last couple of years. With my mom battling cancer, and one time she got 2 weeks to live, another minute we got 6 months, and we had to put her through radiation and chemo and so on and so forth, to surgery. My mom is still alive and well today, and I'm so happy to be able to know that she's still alive and well, and we can talk and rap with her and so on, and she continues to pray and is still a vital member of society. I give God thanks for her. And some time ago, there's another medical issue with my mom when she was misdiagnosed for having some other issue, and then we realized it was shingles. And if we didn't realize before, it would have gone into stage 4 or 5. And I said to Dante, who is here in the background here with me, one of the producers of the show here, and my conversation, I said to you earlier that one of the reasons why, if there is any, I teach Caribbean thought at the Jamaica Theological Seminary, and I said to you, if there is anything that I am not particularly keen about when it comes down to Jamaica, is the healthcare system, and there is no accountability. I believe that my father my father died in 2011, and I believe that he died not only due to his stubbornness, okay, but also the healthcare system, because he needed dialysis. And there is this, and when hospitals aren't accountable, and when they hide behind government policies, laws, and institutions and connectionism, it helps to continue the medical malpractice and the misdiagnosis and so on and so forth in society. That's why people need to be held accountable and not, okay? And that is why I said to you, people in the Caribbean, you have to do research. I am not too keen on healthcare because of the experiences I've had with my mom and my dad. Okay, and what we are learning about, but we won't reveal too much about that episode. But my mom is here today, and we could give God thanks. But we will continue listening to the powerful exchange and conversation I had yesterday with author T.L. Jackson. It was quite powerful, and please get a copy of her book. Visit her website. Support our mothers. Support our Black-owned businesses. Support our artists. They need your help. And I'm gonna have the executive director, or the president of RBJD Lending, Raymond Dingle Jr. I'm gonna have him on the show talking about lending, because and with what's going on in the economy, money isn't easy to come by these days. Especially small businesses are having a difficult time accessing funds, and it also, and in many ways, it's tied to your personal credit score, okay, which doesn't provide any lucrative solution. But he talks about how you can get around that. Okay, he's supposed to be joining me on the show, for recording today. Probably we do one on Wednesday, because we want a live show with him. We'll talk about the lending industry and visit his RBJD Lending, Raymond Dingle Jr. And we'll talk about it. And I think there's a Twitter I have going. Visit him. We'll talk about that. how, if you have businesses, how you can get funding. So support Black-owned businesses. This is the Neoliberal Round, brought to you by the Neoliberal Corporation by Renaldo McKenzie. We are serving the world today to solve tomorrow's challenges by making popular what was the monopoly. We will continue with the episode, but just before that, the introduction music, and we go right back. Let's get back into the episode. My discussion with author T.L. Jackson, talking about faith, purpose, and motherhood. A good mother. They're good. These are books that.
That's a tool.
A tool that a mother would want to give her young mother.
A lady called something.
Yes.
She said, I want my daughter to read it.
Yes,
said,
and it is a workbook.
And do the work. That's
it is a workbook.
Do the work.
Actually, you know, I know somebody who have been struggling with some issues, and I have a very good friend of mine, and he's going through a lot in his life. And I gave him the book that you gave me, and it's all filled out. So you know, it's all filled out. Yeah. As I said to you, it's the content that matters. Give me this. Give me the content that matters. The content is very important. That the content is very
that's important. All I meant. And that's what. Don't give it away because you need it for you to write in.
That is true.
You know. And
I meet people that always need
all the
glory. Yes. And I almost forgot that tomorrow is Mother's Day.
Yeah, it's a lot of people.
I almost forgot. And my mom's birthday is the 16th. When is the 16th? Is that tomorrow?
No, the day is the 13th. The 14th is Mother's Day. The 16th is Tuesday.
Wait, I think my mom's. No, wait. My mom's birthday is the 15th. I think it is. I'm sure a miss of me. I think it's either the 14th or the 15th.
But like in this book right back here, when I do the special thanks and I list my sister's children right here, and the seats right over here, that's my niece that's in me.
Oh, wow.
So I said, I thank God.
What message do you have for all the mothers as we think about Mother's Day?
You know what? My message that I would love to send all the mothers that's here alive today is continue to walk, live, embrace your purpose.
Yeah.
You woke up this morning, that's another opportunity.
Yeah.
You understand? Go to sleep tonight. If you don't know what your purpose is, pray about it. Lord, what is my purpose? Because purpose is good. Always remember that purpose is good. That's from God. He ain't gonna give you nothing bad, evil, or anything destructive. You feel what I'm saying? So it's good. So find out what your purpose is. And not just mothers, anybody. Young man, young woman, your purpose you may feel was to go out here and rob and steal and all. That's not of God. Turn that around. That's what I would say.
Wow. You know, I started reading chapter 8, What is Love? I love chapter 8. Let me tell you, many people don't read like long books today.
Right. I can't stand my attention. A lot of people say and that's because they will lose track. Once you put it down, that's why I said I don't want them to put it down.
Chapter 8. what is love? I hit the jackpot.
Oh, yeah, that's what I did, but
I found a person who would love and care for me.
That's what I thought.
He did so many nice things for me. You said that's what I thought.
Yeah, that's the thing.
He brought me nice gifts and gave me money to get my hair and nails done. Dinner, flowers, and taking me on trips. He made me feel like I was a princess and that I mattered. It was not long before we both declared our love for each other. Well, what I thought was love. We got married and we had 3 beautiful, wonderful children together. Being with a man who truly loved me was not the norm for me. It was not what I had been accustomed to experiencing. And to be honest, I felt like I had struck oil or found a pot of gold. It was the first time that I felt excited and happy in a relationship. What I didn't know was that after the wedding is when the work begins. Oh wow! Seriously. I didn't even realize how much work marriage actually required, and I found out early into it that the wedding, the celebration, and getting married was the easy part. But staying married required both of us to show up and do the work. After we were married, we bought a beautiful house, and our kids even had their own bedrooms. I remember thinking, about how I never had my own room or even my own bed to sleep in when I was growing up. I ensured they all had birthday parties and Christmas memories with lots of gifts and toys. I was showing them with all the stuff that I never had growing up because my goal was to make sure my kids didn't have a rough upbringing as I did. And their dad and I both work full-time jobs to provide a comfortable life for them. Actually, as you said that, it's like all parents want what they for their kids what they didn't have. And
we want it better now.
And there was a what's his name again? Chris Rock. I think I was watching an interview with Chris Rock or something, and he was talking about. Oh no, he did a show on Netflix series, and he talked about how he took his children to Disneyland, and when he went to Disneyland, he went as a poor kid, but when he went back with his kids, he went in what they call it, the platinum style, and was backstage with some of the characters, Disney characters, and so on and so forth. So, and I'm thinking about what you said here. You didn't have a room for your own room. I hear you. You always want the best for your children. You want them to be better than you. Yes. That was my goal. But what I realized, though, me going through the rough times is what made me what I am today, because that's how God's hands was all over me. Even though people counted me out and stuff. You feel what I'm saying? Even though I had to go through the abuse and experience of the hatred and the vicious envies and jealousy from someone else at their mercy, guess what? God had me protected all along. I just didn't know it. People talk about using iMessages. And many people don't know about iMessage or understand iMessages. And I say to people aren't responsible for how you feel. Mm-hmm. Because people, the reason why we know people aren't responsible for how you feel is because different people respond differently to stimuli. Different people respond differently to situations. So you would see a situation and you would respond one way. Another person would see the same thing and respond a different way. So that's why we said it is people who is responsible for how they view things and how they respond to things. I'm going somewhere with this because I just read something in chapter 8 where I continued reading, and I said iMessages is another way also to evade conflict, because instead of casting blame, you take ownership of how you are feeling, and it minimizes blaming, because when you start to point and blame, it creates conflict. So you use iMessage. So I feel offended when you do XYZ. Can you do this so that so that's iMessaging.
So what made you bring that up?
I bring it up because, and of course Descartes talks about you don't know anything really outside of your own mind. The only thing you know for sure is what. I asked you that question because you talk about your marriage. We were just reading this. And you talk about you were looking to your husband to help you deal with bad behaviors that you have. And many people don't know that.
Right, because you know why? Many people hasn't been taught that.
So that's an issue. That's an issue of expectations.
Right.
You had expectations.
Yeah, because you got to remember.
Yes.
In the book, if you go back to it, this all stems when I was at a child age. So if my dad never sat down, or the man never sat down and showed me, because one thing about us, a kid is a product of what is before them. Like my kid learns by me what I do, what they see me do, not what we say. You feel what I'm saying? Yes. What you have to understand, especially in the black culture, and I'm not going to say white culture because I wasn't raised in them. How many of us as black people experience seeing it? A man and a wife treat him right. How many young ladies you know that the father sat down and showed them by treating their mother in a respectful way?
Yeah.
We don't get too much of that. This has been going on for years and years. So I never, if you read my book, my mother and father never was together. I never lived under a 2-parent house. I never seen, when I did go live with my father, and it was his girlfriend, they were supposed to be a couple, there was always turmoil. That's how the abuse started. I go over there, they cussing each other out. This is why I went over here all day. So if I'm sitting here and that's when I'm calling myself watching TV, but that's what's spilling into my spirit, and the fighting and the drinking and the cussing and it. That's what a kid learns. That's what a kid thinks they should do growing up. That is taught behavior. So again, you ever hear the saying, don't do as I do as I say.
That's Pharisee collision.
Exactly. Because we as human beings, we want to do as you do. And we don't listen to what you say. Prime example, the first time.
Oh, wow, that is powerful.
To me, listen. The first time you tell someone, I'm a Christian, I'm saved, I love the Lord, guess what we do? We stop listening to you. We're going to watch your walk. Because the word of God said, by their what you would tell? By their fruits, their actions. You understand what I'm saying? You can sit here and say you love me, and you can quote every scripture, but you're doing everything under the sun. We are visual people. You understand? You can sit here and tell me about $1 billion and this, that, and the other, but I'm looking at you, and it don't look like that. You don't act like you know. I'm looking at you. I'm watching you. You're doing everything totally opposite of something you said you are. You feel what I'm saying? I'm a plumber. I'm a master plumber. But the only thing I see you doing is sweeping the floor all the time. So you're a master at something, sweeping the floor. Not what you told me. And that's the same thing with love and everything else. Oh, I love you. But you're showing me a whole different side. You're not showing me love. You're not displaying love. You're displaying hatred, name callings. You ain't this, or I don't this, and you crazy, you this. That's not love. So you gotta understand. So when people say, oh, you should have known that, no, this is what I was taught. That's learned behavior. So that's why my relationship wasn't successful. I didn't even know how a man is supposed to treat me.
Wow.
So what I seen growing up, I took that into my marriage. I feel bad for my husband. Because you got to remember, it was the woman that was the abuser. It was my father's girlfriend that was cussing him out and did it. So I take on that like, oh, I think that's being a good wife. I think that's what we're supposed to do. That's not.
Right. And you talk about how did this affect your parenting as a mother?
It did, because listen, even as growing up, you know, I can sit your ass down, do this. I didn't physically hit my kids. But sit your ass down. What is you doing over there? You know better. Oh, I'm gonna whoop your ass for you know. Oh, I'm gonna do this. I'm thinking that's a good parent. You know, let me go ahead and take care of them, and I'm gonna tell them that's abusive. That's verbal. So I'm just as guilty until I learn. So when somebody said that hurt, I said, oh, that hurt. Well, I thought I was disciplining you. No, I'm tearing down their self-esteem. So I'm doing the same thing somebody did to me. Mine was physical. But emotional, mental, you know, come on. So that's the stuff I'm saying that we are learning. But we can now. I'm a firm because I believe in God. He can do all things. You can change it. You can turn it around. I'm going through discipline right now.
Yes.
Doing something that's very uncomfortable, but it's for my good deed, my good use later on. I need to reprogram something. So I'm practicing it now. Positive words of affirmation every day. And then when I forget, for some reason I'll read something or somebody else come back and piggyback off of it. Positive confirmation, yes. I am who I am. I am God's child. I am living on purpose. I know my purpose is to inspire and uplift. And I tell myself this all the time. So that subconscious mind, it gets in it. So when people say, what's your purpose? Oh, I know my purpose. Did I uplift you today? Did I encourage you today? Did I inspire you today? Did I tell you can be the best? That's me. And I'm walking in it. Doesn't matter. So I know when to kick it in when I see.
And by the way, in today's society, we need as much inspiration that we need.
Do you know
it's the society is becoming so crazy.
Just to tell somebody you love them. Just to tell somebody that you are going to be successful. You are going to make it. Telling somebody to talk to God. He hears you.
I like it.
And that's the whole thing that we need to do.
Life is about people and how people relate. You know, and you have found your purpose in that.
And that's what I'm grateful for.
Your purpose in life.
I found my purpose, but look what it took me to find. Not to find it, because I already knew, but I was scared to embrace it. It took me, well, it took God taking two of the closest people in my life away from me, because that was my comfort zone to stand on my own 2 feet. And it hurt. I ain't gonna lie.
Well, you know, Socrates says the unexamined life is not worth living. And I think in order for us to discover ourselves and also to correct and to challenge ourselves, I tell my students, I believe in critiquing things, but I don't believe in any criticism. I believe in constructive criticism. Okay, criticism that builds up, that provides solutions to problems. And so that's what I see that's what you're doing. And even with this book, you know, in challenging yourself, you're doing so constructively and also inspiring others.
And I was challenged, and that's why I said, like with Dr. Johnson, it wasn't. Listen, when I say teach, and I'm really, some people, like I said, I'm very opinionated. So everything you tell me, I'm not gonna always agree with. I'm gonna challenge you now. I'm going to say, listen, I'm not understanding, get a little deeper what you're talking about. And he knows that, but he breaks it down and on the level where I can kind. And then after he tell me I don't listen, then I go and do my research. I be like, damn, he was.
We are here talking with T.L. Jackson, the author of Purpose Through the Pain, and I'm not a hypocrite, I'm human, on this episode that we have done for Mother's Day. Today is Mother's Day, and it's actually also my mom's birthday today, so happy Mother's Day to all of the mothers, and I hope that this particular episode, this short 20 minutes episode, finds you powerful. And just so you know, if you need a copy of T.L. Jackson's book, Purpose Through the Pain, Taking Off the Mask of Shame After Physical, Mental, Spiritual, and Emotional Abuse. All mothers should get this book. And not only that, you might have a young mother or a new mother that's on the way. Get a copy of it. Tell us your website, authortljackson.org or .com. authortljackson.com. Get a copy of her book. She's also available on Facebook as Tanya Jackson. And I've been telling Tanya wants me to work for her. She wants me to work with her to improve. And we're gonna be with the Neoliberal Corporation. We'll be doing some work with T.L. Jackson, along with also RDB Lending Company. We're gonna be doing with some small businesses too, because they are small Black-owned businesses, and these people are about empowering people within a particular vulnerable community. Okay, RBJD Lending, it provides lending opportunities. T.L. Jackson provides hope, provides inspiration through her books that empowers, that talks about purpose through the pain. So this is a good book. So and the Neoliberal Corporation is about serving the world today to solve tomorrow's challenges by making popular what was the monopoly. And so we like to promote positive stuff like what Tanya is about, and stuff like what Raymond Dingle is about. So Get a copy of Tanya's book, and also visit RBDG Lending Company. And it's a wealth of resources, and we're going to be working with them to promote their stuff on our Facebook and social media feeds and providing some content for them. But support them. This is the Neoliberal Round. Please visit us at anchor.fm/neoliberal, and we are available in 36 countries. We just surpassed 16,600 views on YouTube, and on our audio podcast, we just surpassed 5,500 plays. And so we are growing. Continue to work with us, support us, and become a subscriber. Subscribe for free on any podcast. Thank you for listening. Walk good. And we are done.
First of all, no. That's what I said.